now, waiting for the Buckeye game to start. Oh, did you want to join us? All right then. This is the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT.
Live outside of St. John Arena, here's Tim May, the Big Cat, Andy Katzenmoyer, and Anthony Rothman.
Oh, yeah, back to work. Sun is shining. If they kicked it off right at this second, it'd be a great day for football, but we're going to wait a little bit on that. Anthony Rothman, Tim May, the Big Cat, Andy Katzenmoyer. Bye-week blues are over. Buckeyes back to work. Last game of the non-conference. Morning, fellas. Good to see you.
Good morning.
By the way, there's a UFO in the western sky. It looks like a rain cloud.
No rain today, man.
I know, but, I mean, we haven't had rain at our place in like 6 weeks.
That's coming Monday, apparently.
Okay.
I think
When your yard is crunchy, that's not good.
Yeah, well.
You could water it.
No, man. We got well. I could water it. We got 2.5 acre yard. So.
That's a cloud yard. Never mind.
Big problems over there. 2 acre yard.
Yeah.
So it's a mowing headache, all that stuff.
Right.
I'll tell you what, this is one of those games that you feel like it could go either way in the beginning. Like you just don't know coming out of the bye week. They're both coming out of the bye week. But let's tell it like it is. Marshall's getting paid a handsome fee to come in here and play this game. You add the cancellation fee that they had to pay Washington, and Ohio State's going to pay a little more than $2 million to hopefully get a win today. That's the expenditure today that gets you out of the non-conference and into the Big Ten. So, Tim, it's one of those things that is supposed to be bought and paid for, but until they kick it off,
exactly.
we don't know.
And that's a great thing about beauty of college football is you have an idea what could happen, what should happen, but then that's not always what does happen. And I think Marshall's an interesting team because they've got some pretty good players at different spots, including that Christian Fitzpatrick kid, the wide receiver who caught 2 passes in Ohio Stadium last year for Michigan State. When he was with Michigan State, he's one of those guys in his third school, started at Louisville, went to Michigan State, and then Marshall, and their quarterback started, I think, at Abilene Christian.
He did.
Went to North Texas. Yeah. And now he's at Marshall, and kind of came in the summer, I think, and he's got a great name no matter what. Stone Earl. It sounds backwards, kind of like Earl Bruce, It was like, what are we talking about here? But they're just not loaded across the board. Yeah. And they're missing one of their key guys, I think, up front on defense today, which might give them a little bit of a problem because I think this offensive line with Donovan Jackson back is ready to rock and roll. I think it played extremely well last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was, when they played Western Michigan. So, I think on paper this looks like a little bit of an upgrade from Western Michigan, yet Ohio State's favored by more. So we'll get Scotty Vegas on to explain that one.
Yeah, listen, you talk about Marshall, Charlie Huff, 4th season now. He's pulled off some big ones. He's beaten Notre Dame. He's beaten Vatech. He actually played Vatech pretty well last week.
Yeah.
They were only down 10-7.5, and I think it was because of a punt return for a touchdown that went against them. But
yes.
The point I was going to make there is, and listen, not being intimidated can only take you so far, but they do have a lot of 4 guys went to the NFL, and they've got, Andy, a lot of Power 4 transfers on this roster. And so at least those guys have played big boy football. Huff's been around it forever. But I'm glad you mentioned Stone Earl, redshirt senior quarterback. Here's what I'm most curious about. Will they play as fast as they want to play today, Andy? And the heat that we're going to talk about today, they've practiced in it. We're going to be into the 90s by the second half today. If you were a starter on Ohio State today, how motivated would you be to get off to a fast start when it's still in the 80s? And that way you can sit and let those fans blow on you on the sideline in the second half.
I can honestly – I don't know if I'd ever cared about the temperature as far as being hot.
Okay.
Like I knew it would be a hot game. There'd be certain games that would be hotter than others. But it never got me off the field. Like once you get out there, you're kind of out there. And, the training staff and the strength and conditioning coaches always did a good job of keeping us hydrated and well-nutrition. But I was more worried about the days it was cold, and I wouldn't play very much because it took a lot to get warmed up. And then you have to try to stay warm somehow.
Yeah, plus you hit your hand on a helmet or something, or wouldn't that?
Oh, the worst.
It would linger, wouldn't it? I mean,
that's always though.
Yeah.
But especially in cold weather.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about the heat, we talk about Mickey Marotti and his staff all the time and stuff, but they have been so on top of this stuff for years of hydrating the correct way. It also includes eating correctly from the standpoint of like Ryan Day says, if you start drinking the morning of the game, he's talking about water.
Too late.
Right, it's too late.
Or how? Yeah. Now, I'm not talking about the fans in Tailgate, but if you start drinking, it's too late. And they do an incredible job because I don't remember anybody going out the first 2 games. Well, the second game was a real nice football day, but the first game, I don't think they had anybody get cramps and stuff. And so it'll be a test today again.
The interesting thing, and I'll go back to it with Marshall, is if they want to play fast, an air raid with, Seth Dagey came over from Purdue, part of that Harold Leach tree.
Yeah.
And when it's working, it's great. If you bring that into Ohio Stadium against this defense, A, it's really risky, and B, the other part is if it's not working, your defense is on the field a lot today.
Yes.
So, Andy, would Marshall entertain changing who they are?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so at all. Like, what they're going to play their game, which I think why the spread is what it is, just because Marshall has some good talent, but not 3 deep in talent like Ohio State has, if not deeper. So when the weather's hot and someone gets tired, they need a blow for Ohio State, someone else is going to come in and replace and be just as good.
The reason I asked him is because most teams that are so overmatched like to slow the game down and let the clock work.
Yeah.
That's not Marshall's identity. They're play fast, up-tempo, and, man, it could either score them some points or it could put their defense in a horrible spot.
But they really committed to this air raid, obviously, hiring that coach, Dagey. So you kind of got to go. You have to keep in mind when you're Marshall, you would like to pull the upset because they did it 2 years ago at Notre Dame, right?
Right.
You would like to pull the upset, but you also have to keep in mind your own neighborhood where you're going to be playing, the next 10 weeks or 9 weeks. And that's what you're really pushing for. They're already out of the national championship hunt, probably. But this is that little thing where, as a coach, you don't want to come in and get a black eye, but you want to show yourself, but you've also got to plan for the future. And the thing about the air raid that people don't understand sometimes, the air raid can be ball control. It could be a ball control offense. It's almost, but it's just instead of pitching or handing off, you're throwing little short routes. You're
dinking and dunking around.
Dinking and dunking, and if you just get a couple of little mismatches going for you, when the other team, because the other team gets impatient, it's human nature, and they start coming after you. You can crease another team occasionally. It's hard for me to believe they're going to crease Ohio State more than 1 or 2 times, but we'll see how that goes.
Andy, what do the coaches usually say, message coming out of a bye week? What are they concerned about? What do they try to tell their team coming out of bye weeks?
Well, coming off a shutout and really just a dominating performance that Ohio State had, you can speak some positive about how great things were, but also just go back to work and get back to basics, take the time to get guys reps, really fine-tune what needs to be addressed for the long term. Any thread or anything that any sort's out of place, address it, fix it, work on it, and really start preparing the team not only for the today's game, but also the future evolutions of what the defense and offense will be.
We always like to use that cliche, start fast. They always want to start fast.
Right.
What does that mean to you guys as from a coaching standpoint? How do they coach a fast start?
You want to get a big play. I mean, basically, in my opinion, that's what it means. Put the other team back on their heels, either with a good, sustained, 4, 8, 6, 12 play. I mean, I'm talking about yards per play kind of drive where you just knock the team backwards. And, of course, defensively, 3 and out, because that changes everything. It's really funny because Josh Fryer, we were talking to him, starting right tackle, talking to him on Wednesday, and he was talking about their practice on Tuesday was about as rigorous a practice as he can remember, and he felt like he was almost out of breath the whole time because it was really hot, whatever. So Ryan Day did not back off, just like he said. He didn't back off during the off week at all.
Well, we'll be able to diagnose it all day with you here today on the Tailgate Show. Your kickoff forecast at high noon, sponsored by Byers Auto. Come see why it's better to buy from Byers. It'll be 84 degrees at kickoff, light wind into the fourth quarter. It'll be into the low 90s already. That's the prediction today, so stay hydrated, and we'll see. If the Buckeyes have it in hand by the fourth quarter, maybe the fans will say time to get into the AC. We will see. We'll come back with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, and we'll set the table for you with him. This is the Tailgate Show, Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show, right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
I just checked the traffic cameras and everything's looking pretty good. 315 is a little more crowded right now in the Lane to Ackerman stretch, but things are moving. Off onto the side streets, Olentangy River Road has a little bit more of a crowd between Ackerman and Kinnear. A little more traffic as well on Lane Avenue. That's to be expected between High Street and Olentangy River Road. Also seeing just a little bit more of a crowd on Kenny right around Lane. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler's at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than in a roomy new Toyota, like the best-selling RAV4. Now through September 30th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
1 in 3 student athletes gets disturbing messages from sports bettors. This threatens the safety and mental health of college athletes like Tyler.
I'm a student and an athlete. I don't deserve to be threatened over my play. If you're upset about your sports bet, don't take it out on me, because I'm more than a bet.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. Here at Key, we believe in providing a helping hand in our community. While helping hands are wonderful, a helping bank is even better. That's a bank committed to solving people's financial needs, but it doesn't stop there. We advocate, we support, we listen, and we volunteer. That's a bank that is always ready to meet you in the moment. Key Bank opens doors.
Key Bank, member FDIC.
Guess what? Our ugly faces are on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan and watch all your favorite shows. Laptop, phone, tablet, smart TV, we're everywhere. Bring us in the bedroom with you. Yes, The Fan.
Tailgating this weekend? Schmidt's Catering has you covered. Schmidt's will cater your neighborhood party or company tailgate and handle all the heavy lifting. They can even grill for you at your location. Schmidt's is the perfect way to celebrate this football season with their delicious Bahama Mamas, sausages, cream puffs, and more. Let Schmidt's bring their hoss to yours. Check out their full catering menu at schmidthoss.com. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
Bobcat Enterprises is your family-owned partner for landscaping and construction projects. Bobcat Enterprises sells and services a full line of Bobcat equipment, including compact track loaders, excavators, tractors, and more. Plus, Bobcat rents compact equipment and attachments. With Bobcat, you can rent the machine and own the results. Keep your business local. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville, and find current specials and our full line of products by visiting bobcatent.com today.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Ohio's pickup truck headquarters, Valley Ford of Columbus. Whether you're heading to the game or heading to the job site, Valley has the Ford F-150 selection to bring home a winner. Take it from me, a real Valley Ford customer. Buy or lease, you're going to save big money. That's because my team at Valley always works hard to get you the better deal because they know you work harder. Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of Carnell Tate and T-Bone. More details, valleyfordofcolumbus.com.
Football season is here, and so is tailgating season. Are you ready? If not, let Columbus Car Audio and Accessories help you get the latest and best accessories for your ride. Upgrade your sound system so everyone around can hear what team you're rooting for. Add mobile video and never miss a game on the road. Add style and privacy with window tint, and avoid scraping ice this winter by adding a remote starter. Choose Columbus Car Audio and Accessories when it comes to customizing your ride. Morse Road near Easton, Main Street in Reynoldsburg, or columbuscaraudio.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman Rothman wakes up every morning next to a bottle of gin and says, today's a good day for a Buckeye victory. Well, today he happens to be right. You're listening to the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Kurgis & Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HEARD. That's 614-GOT-HEARD.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. It's time for the Big Daddy Report with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. The Waterworks Plumbing and Drain team can break through any block. We're standing by to take your call at 614-232-2222. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
All right, back at it, back on campus. Glad my employer knows me so well. Anthony Rothman, Paul Keels with us, the voice of the Buckeyes, along with Tim May and Andy Katzenmoyer.
You endorse that message, huh?
Absolutely. Right. Paul, good to see you, my man.
You too, fellas. Always good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, boy, the momentum was halted a little bit, but now it feels like, we get it ramped up again. That early bye week is always weird, but the funny part is you look at this team, they have not given up an offensive touchdown. Now, I put the disclaimer on the schedule for sure, but boy, that's something to play for today and keep that streak going.
Well, and here's the other thing, Anthony, to think about in reading the game notes, as I'm sure you guys do, the fact that neither of the first two opponents have had a possession in the red zone. I've got it on my chart upstairs.
Yeah.
It's like, 4 trips? No, maybe 10 trips across the 50 for the opponent. So,
Barely.
and again, and let's also drop another piece on you. I learned this last night at the preseason dinner for the basketball team. Next year will be 2 byes also because of the way the calendar works. And when they made that change and put the Grambling game in and did all that, it was so that the bye would be later than this year.
Very nice.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, this streak this defense has, that has to be motivating, right? Everything we just said. You've not allowed an offensive touchdown this season yet.
And think about what we were talking about 2 years ago about the defense and the challenges that they had. So, and a lot of it you've got to give credit to. Now, not everybody's been there the whole time, but it's Jim Knowles' 3rd year, so there's some traction that has been, formed with the players that have been here through all of that. They know what he expects. They know what they need to do. Certainly the additions of a guy like Caleb Downs has made a big difference, but it's been incredible to see how they've played against you can only play the people that you play. So we know that will break at some point in time, but it really has been very impressive.
So today's opponent's Marshall. Marshall has not played a very tough schedule, nothing like Ohio State. Stony Brook, then VTech. They were in the game with VTech for most of the game. Defense looked good. But they haven't faced someone like an Ohio State, a juggernaut. What do you see today, with the Ohio State offense and the Marshall defense?
Well, I think Marshall's defense kept them in that game against Virginia Tech 2 weeks ago for a while. They had a punt return that got the first touchdown for the Hokies. They've got a defensive end by the name of Mike Green who had played at Virginia. And people think he might be an NFL player. Maybe not a starter, but a guy that could play in the NFL. They're 2 linebackers. One of them, the young man from here in Gahanna, Jaden Yates, and Landon Watson. They'll be all over the field making plays. But their defense gave them a chance to try and win that game. Offensively, here's the thing that's crazy. So if you look at the stats, the guy that is listed as their number 3 tailback, A.J. Turner, he's averaging 15 yards per carry. But he's had like an 80-yard run and a 60-yard run. But his tries were limited because he broke a bone in his hand in the first game. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. It sounded like they were going to have a quarterback competition, but it also seemed based on the last game that Stone Earls kind of won that. So a team that's got a boatload of transfers. So it's probably going to take them even still a few more games to get the kind of traction that a team would like.
By the way, as I always say to Ryan Day, the first one isn't my real question.
Hey, I'm at those press conferences.
Yeah,
I know your drill.
But listen, you gotta put Stone Earl, that name, on your list of pretty interesting names you've called, right?
Yeah. At least it's an easy one to pronounce.
Yeah.
That's what we're always worried about.
But I was going to say, it's weird in this world. Christian Fitzpatrick is that really good receiver they've got.
Oh.
And isn't it amazing? Last year, you called a couple of plays where he caught passes from Michigan State in the same stadium.
Yeah.
It just kind of tells you what kind of world we're in right now, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a great example.
Did you see that catch he made in their game? I mean, one of the most incredible catches you'll see in a college game this year. Even while it was kind of like the 4th and forever at Purdue, Michael Jenkins. he was even being interfered with, and he still makes a great one-hand catch. But but that's what it is. Guys get a chance to play, and of course, Michigan State was a dumpster fire last year after the second week of the season because of the whole Mel Tucker situation. But guys find a chance to go play. They find a chance to go get an opportunity, and this is a kid that could really help Marshall be a competitive team in the Sun Belt Conference. But Ohio State's going to have to be aware of him. I think this will be the third time he's played in the horseshoe.
Yeah, exactly. What I want to ask you real quick, though.
Is this a real question?
Yeah, we're here in
round 3. Yeah,
we're in Tyler Williams. Might miss today's games. What we're hearing, we'll get that later and stuff. But that lets those other guys behind them step up, right? I mean, who are you kind of looking forward to? I mean, we haven't seen a lot of. We've seen a little bit of a hero canoe, but not the big plays yet and things like some of those other guys. Who are you interested in?
Caden McDonald probably is going to be the guy that's going to get a lot of the chance. He's really shown well in the opportunities he's gotten. But as much as you will miss having a guy like Tyleik Williams if he doesn't go, that's an area where there's a lot of depth and they can overcome that.
Paul, you talked to Ryan Day this week. Any feeling on he's kept his starters in even in these blowouts like through 3 quarters? Today the same? Is it more important or less important going into Big Ten that if he gets out to a big lead, does he manage it differently today?
Anthony, I think it's going to have a lot to do with how the game starts. Coaches always talk about wanting to get off a fast start, and they did in the last game. But if he has the feeling that they have regained the momentum that they had from the first 2 games, then maybe you start to see him shuttling people in a little earlier. Now the game and the score will dictate a lot of that. But certainly you would like to see more guys get an opportunity before they start playing conference games, and guys that get a chance to play in a home game.
So I have an off-the-wall question for you.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to give you a heads up on this.
Okay.
Is it a 2-parter?
No, it's a one question, Tim. So when you're calling a game,
yes,
do you watch the game live from the field or do you watch it from a monitor?
No, can't watch it on a monitor. You know why, Andy? Because what you see on a monitor is delayed.
Right. That's what I wanted. Yeah.
So no, and
I wasn't sure if you had some kind of like special feed though.
No. And and here's the thing, and this will take you behind the curtain a little bit, Andy. So during the pandemic year, we could not travel, so we had to do the away games remotely, calling it off a TV monitor, which was an awful situation. We had the game at Michigan State where the video froze and blacked out during a defensive touchdown, and we're sitting there running our mouths. We didn't know what the devil had happened. So, but no, and now for Jim, the good thing about the monitor being delayed, once the play's done and I close my big mouth, Jim can look up at the monitor and see as the ball's being snapped, and he can kind of re-describe in his way what's going on there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but no, you have to watch it live.
Yeah, I'll never forget, man, the national championship game several years ago when they played Alabama. The press box at Miami, at the Hard Rock Stadium, is in the corner, and they had the thing all cubicled up with plexiglass because of COVID, and it was like you were in a house of mirrors, and the actual play on the television was like 20 seconds behind. So they were.
Well, that's the problem with high definition.
It was bizarre. Yeah.
Because the TV signal has to hit more points before it gets to your screen.
Yeah.
So that's why people always ask us, "How come your broadcast is ahead of TV?" Well, we don't have to hit as many points to get to.
Right.
Let me get your opinion. Would you like to see them play Devin Brown and Julian saying a little earlier today, knowing what you saw last week with guys going out of games, Quinn Ewers, et cetera, Wisconsin losing their, meaning your backup's going to have to play probably?
Yes, if the game allows that to happen. By the way, we brought up something in the last game. Do you remember the last time prior to the Western Michigan game that Ohio State played 4 quarterbacks in one game?
Well, I should know
Looked it up. 1998 against Toledo. Joe Germain, Austin Mockerman, Steve Belisari, and Mark Garcia. You'd have been playing in that game.
Mark Garcia.
98. You'd have been playing Andy in that game.
Dang, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's the last time, unless I missed something, that they played 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, and 3 of those guys were. Yeah, 3 of those guys were gone after that season. Joe Germain was gone, whatever, Garcia.
And that's when the Toledo quarterback went up to take the snap, and he was so nervous he squatted under the guard.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, hey, man, scoot over.
Yeah, I have nothing for you.
Andy's he usually makes sure the other team has to go to their 4th quarterback.
That's right.
What he usually does.
Right.
Paul, great job, man.
All right, guys, good to see you.
Enjoy the call.
Take care.
Our segment with Paul Keels, sponsored by the Waterworks Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling, a very proud sponsor sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. When we come back, who's going to shine today? It's He's So Money. We'll figure that out. This is the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show. Remember, they don't get paid unless you get paid right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
We're hassle-free right now on the roadways. 315 north and southbound are moving really nicely, especially in that Ackerman to Lane Avenue stretch. No major problems to report, just about a moderate volume. Off on the side streets, we do have a few heavy spots. Kenny between Woody Hayes and Lane Avenue, and Olentangy both north and southbound around Lane Avenue. Just a little bit more crowded right now. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Kemba Financial Credit Union pays you to save. Get a $300 bonus with a new money market account and earn a premium interest rate on your money. It adds up to big-time savings for your goals and dreams. Visit Kemba.org to check our rates and learn more. Restrictions apply. Bonus requires Advantage status and $10,000 minimum balance be deposited in the first 30 days and maintained to qualify for a $100 bonus at 90 days and $200 at 180 days after opening. Federally insured by NCUA. Offer ends September 30th.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is strong as ever with low monthly payments on some of our most popular models. Lease a new 25 Civic Sport or HRV all-wheel drive. You choose just $259 a month for 36 months. Or get a new 24 Accord Hybrid Sport for just $299 a month. And don't forget our $49 oil change where we'll get it done in an hour or it's free. So come and see us. Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
36-month closed-down lease with approved credit. $39.99 to signing payment does not include taxes or fees. 10,000 miles per year cannot combine reimbursement valid on previous sales. Offer expires 9/30/24.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. At Key, we're all about helping our neighbors. As your bank, we understand that we have both the ability and the responsibility to help our neighbors thrive. Whether they're trying to buy a car to take them to their new job, or tackle debt that feels unmanageable, or simply trying to do more with what they have, Key Bank is there to meet them in that moment. Key Bank opens doors.
All credit products are subject to credit approval. Key Bank, member FDIC. Now you can ship the delicious flavors of Schmidt sausages to any tailgate around the country. Send a taste of Columbus tradition to your favorite fan base, wherever they may be. Just place your order, and Schmidt's will package up their famous sausages and sides ready for the grill on game day. Go to schmidthaus.com/shop and use coupon code TAILGATE and receive 15% off your purchased order. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
Taking out the trash. That's what we're all about at Bourne Brothers Waste Services. This is Justin Bourne,
Zach Bourne, and Jacoby Bourne, former Ohio State football players.
We are your company for all of your trash and recycling needs.
Providing services that include front-load containers, mini and large roll-offs, and compactors. Contact us today for the best service in town. Bourne Brothers.
Bourne Brothers.
The real local trash company.
Taking out the trash.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Buying a truck for your business doesn't have to be a time-consuming experience. Valley Ford of Columbus makes it easy with a dedicated commercial truck center and the best inventory in Ohio. Valley has the selection to fit your needs exactly. Here's just one example. 2024 Ford F-250s with $5,000 off MSRP and as low as 1.9 APR. Tell them I sent you and keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of Carnell Tate and T-Bone. for whatever that's worth. Valley Ford of Columbus. More details, valleyfordofcolumbus.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. We had a top 25 matchup last night in the Big Ten as number 24 Illinois went on the road, and they beat number 22 Nebraska in Lincoln in overtime, 31-24. The Fighting Illini improved to 4-0 this season. As we turn the page to today, we got 3 more ranked matchups to look forward to later on this afternoon. At 3:30, number 11 Southern California takes on number 18 Michigan in Ann Arbor. At 4 o'clock, number 12 Utah will visit number 14 Oklahoma State in Stillwater. And then at 7:30 tonight, number 6 Tennessee faces number 15 Oklahoma, the first SEC game for the Sooners. That one is in Norman. And we know that third-ranked Ohio State is back from their bye week today as the Buckeyes welcome in the Marshall Thundering Herd to Columbus for their last non-conference game of the season. Kickoff is at noon at Ohio Stadium. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. From F-150 to F-750, Valley Ford of Columbus is Ohio's commercial truck headquarters.
You're listening to the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HEARD. That's 614-GOT-HEARD.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. He's so money.
Sponsored by Kemba Financial Credit Union.
All right, back at it, back on campus. Could be a lot of money men today for Ohio State. Get off to a fast start. This backfield we talked about before the season, this, Thunder and Lightning, I mean, who knows? I mean, either way, right? I mean, we saw Quinshon Judkins break the century mark last week. Maybe both guys actually go over 100 today, but it feels like there will be big runs to be had today, Tim. And I listen, how they deploy them, Travion seems to be certainly the guy, but you can't look past what Quinshon did last week against Western Michigan. What's your anticipation of how they continue to deploy these running backs? And then people certainly will get his chance today.
Yeah, you can't look back past what Quinshon did the last 2 previous years at Ole Miss either. I mean, the guy's the real deal. The interesting thing about Marshall, if you just watching the Virginia Tech games, Tony Brook, I didn't get much out of that. Sounds more like a rafting trip. But with against Virginia Tech, Marshall really did a really good job of mixing up blitzes and stuff and bringing pressure from different areas of the field all night, and it kept Virginia Tech kind of like off kilter a little bit. We'll see. But the good thing about that is sometimes you'll stone a guy running the ball, and sometimes you went to the wrong,
right.
You picked the wrong gap to blitz, and Quinshon and Travion Henderson, and for that matter, James Peoples have the ability to take it to the house. So I really think Travion's going to get my feel is Travion's going to have one of those breakaway runs today to kind of get him on track. That's just my gut feeling about it. But you're right. The opportunities will be there, but don't be surprised to see him get popped a couple times too.
Yeah, I go to the stats, and Virginia Tech ran for 208 yards against Marshall. I agree with you. That physical front, they did sack Virginia Tech a lot. And so, Annie, today...
Why not play that way, though, when you're going against a...
Absolutely. I mean, today will be an interesting... maybe it is a priority or a test for Ohio State to say, hey, let's go up against this big physical front line of Marshall. Let's try to pound the rock today.
Absolutely. Why not? Like that, they ran the ball almost 40 times last week or 2 weeks ago. I've been saying for the last few weeks during the show that's what, Chip Kelly wants to do. He wants to run the ball, period. And that's his track record every place he's been. That's not going to change, especially with having 2 dynamic backs. They're going to want to establish the run and then have the pass game off that for sure.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like I wrote a story about this earlier this week at Letterman Row, is that they made a major step from the first game to the second game in the way the offensive line operated 2 weeks ago against Western Michigan. And now you get Donovan Jackson back, a preseason All-American at left guard who hadn't played the first 2 games. Getting Austin Seerveld in there, developed depth like you wouldn't believe. I mean, being cast in there as a starter from the get-go. But his first snap, was as a starter in Ohio Stadium. Go figure. But they really want to get that on track, and they definitely want Donovan Jackson to kind of hit the ground running, so to speak. And I think they feel pretty good about the progress of this running game, but we keep couching it with this. They really haven't played anybody yet, you know what I mean, from relative standpoint. So next week they're going to see a full complement of Big Ten type defensive linemen, et cetera, at Michigan State. But yeah, they want to keep that rolling.
Well, you brought up the backup quarterback position with Paul, and I thought it's a good point, because I'm wondering how much in that room they are discussing who would be the next guy up in an important game, a big game.
Well, I think it's obvious it'd be Devin Brown right now. But that's why you want to play these guys. I mean, I wrote that story earlier this week too. Is like it just shows you want Will Howard in this offense to come out of preseason or pre-conference clicking.
Preseason,
yeah, it does look like that a little bit, doesn't it? Especially the first two.
Yeah,
well, they're a 40-point favorite today.
Yeah, now this is like playing New England, at home. No offense, Andy, they're not what they used to be,
man.
But
they beat the Bengals.
They look pretty good. What are you talking about?
Well, not in the last game.
Yeah.
Not against the Jets.
The Bengals figure out ways to beat themselves. That's another story for another day. You're right.
My point is, do you think that they
should play them.
How close do you think that is? Devin Brown and Julian saying.
Well, all you can tell, really, final analysis, because nobody tells you exactly, is Devin Brown went in the game first last week, just like he did the week before, and played and got to throw the ball, and I thought looked pretty good. I think Julian Saying looks pretty good too, man. When you turn a little rollout, bailout left into a 55-yard touchdown to your tight end, Christian Bennett, number one. Tight end is a quarterback's best friend. He gets that right away. I already figured out he gets that aspect of it. And then number two, he's got talent. And we saw last night watching Dylan Raiola, as smooth as he operated as a freshman quarterback, starting his third or fourth game. Julian Saying looks like he could be that kind of guy too. But, that they never give you a definitive answer because they want to get the win in hand before they start playing those kind of guys. Right. I think it's more important to get a guy in there when the game is sort of not quite in hand yet and let him see what because Marshall's going to bring, the kitchen sink and the bathroom sink at him on occasion today.
For sure.
Coaches are so worried, Andy, about handing away momentum at any point in time.
Yes.
And I agree with his call about, yes, it would be a better measurement to get a backup quarterback into a game that's still, quote, in doubt. But it just doesn't work that way from a mindset of a coach.
Never. No, I mean, this staff wants to give Ohio State the best opportunity to win long term, but they need to establish the win today first. And then as far as putting in a quarterback, there's nothing like having, active live fire to understand how someone's going to react in a situation. And Devin Brown has showed that he's a good player and under live fire. He just had the injury bug last year with the ankle a few times, and so
just when they were bringing him along, they had plans to play him a lot.
Right,
the second half of that season until the high ankle sprain against Penn State.
So I think when in doubt, you're going to play your starters until you have an established win, and then from there they'll trickle guys in. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised with the Heat today, and really the opponent and what's coming up in the near future. They would not start subbing guys in, based on how guys are feeling, if they're tired, dehydrated, whatever, just to give guys so that the guys aren't being gassed.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing about it is, if it was a question like last year, I think it turned into a question about who should be the starting quarterback, because it was a question right up to the opening game, and then Ryan just kind of went with a gut feel, but he clearly was trying to get Devin Brown back into the question, into the fold, and he suffered that ankle sprain. There was no question coming out of camp in Ryan Day's mind and Chip Kelly's mind who the starting quarterback was this year. It was Will Howard, and now the conundrum is who's your number two. Like I said, push come to shove, they put Devin Brown in the game. I do believe that for all kinds of reasons. Yeah. I mean, people forget coming out of high school he was pretty highly touted himself, but you always look at that new toy, in the cupboard, and that's Julian Saying, because he can spin it.
Yeah, it's just one of the things, and that's why I brought it up to Andy about you have to secure momentum, mindset, the game itself.
Right.
You can't just, because you put in a backup quarterback, he makes a bad player, defense gets him somehow, and then all of a sudden it's like now the whole thing changed. Then we got to put the starter back in and now re-secure the lead.
But it's such a mental game anymore. I mean, the throwing the ball is the is almost the least of your worries because all these guys can throw the ball. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you stand there and you're in the pistol or your shotgun and they're doing these things on defense. They're showing this, but then they're dropping into that.
Right.
It's the mental game that you need the reps with.
Well, we'll find out today. Maybe he will shuffle the deck a little bit earlier than we normally would expect. He's So Money is sponsored by Kemba Financial Credit Union. When we come back, we'll be visiting with the analyst and the former All-American Jim Lachey. We'll get his opinion on how this offensive line looks with Donovan Jackson back in there. This is the Kurgis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show. Remember, they don't get paid unless you get paid right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Volumes are starting to pick up on 315, especially on the off-ramps. Right now, we're looking at the Lane Avenue, both north and southbound ramps from 315, and they are pretty backed up, but still moving. Off on those surface streets, Olentangy River Road is pretty slow between Ackerman and King. Kenny from Lane to Kinnear has a bit of a crowd, and of course, Lane Avenue between High Street and Olentangy River Road. Pretty packed right now. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
Thousands of vehicles are waiting. ReichertFord.com.
Get the right car
at Reichert. We're dealing.
So, first down. Yes.
Oh, what? Just cleared that drain last week.
Well, clearly that didn't work. Would you please just call the waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. We'll get your drains good as new on the first down. And as for him, well, there's always the Buckeyes. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and I've been talking about High Bank whiskey for a while now, and I'm not alone. This just in, High Bank Distillery Co. is the most awarded distillery in America for the 2024 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. It's simply the largest spirits competition in the world, and we've got the best right here in Columbus, Ohio. So the next time you're looking for a pour of the good stuff, stop by your local liquor store to grab a bottle, or stop into the 3 restaurant locations in Gahanna, Grandview, or Westerville. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Kurgis and Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Kurgis and Associates. Attorneys who care.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than in a roomy new Toyota. Like the family-size Highlander with room for up to 8. Now through September 30th, you can lease a Highlander XLE all-wheel drive for $489 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
Football season is here, and so is tailgating season. Are you ready? If not, let Columbus Car Audio and Accessories help you get the latest and best accessories for your ride. Upgrade your sound system so everyone around can hear what team you're rooting for. Add mobile video and never miss a game on the road. Add style and privacy with window tint, and avoid scraping ice this winter by adding a remote starter. Choose Columbus Car Audio and Accessories when it comes to customizing your ride. Morse Road near Easton, Main Street in Reynoldsburg, or columbuscaraudio.com.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It's going to be a hot start to the weekend. Temperatures soaring in the afternoon into the low 90s, which is pretty far above average for us for this time of year. But winds will be light, and we'll see those clear skies continue overnight, with lows dropping into the 60s. Sunday, mostly sunny to start, with clouds increasing throughout the day. Daytime highs soaring into the low 90s. Rain chances overnight into Monday morning. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo.
It's game day on the Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Ford.
Have fun. Keep your pads on. Go Bucks. Always and forever your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Are you ready for another Buckeye victory? Because we sure are. You're listening to the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HEARD. That's 614-GOT-HEARD.
Your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan. It's time to check in with Buckeye color analyst and president of the Large Hand Society, Jim Lachey.
Sponsored by Schmitz. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
All right, no better place to be on a Saturday in the fall than Columbus OH. We've got the former All-American and analyst here on the Fan, our friend Jim Lachey. Jim, good to see you.
Anthony, great to be here.
Thanks, my man. All right, nice little visit there from the AD, Ross Bjork, as he enjoys the...
Cam Babb, too.
He loves the tailgating experience, man. Loves to be down here with the people.
No, he's done a great job. We've seen him so many times. Gene was awesome, too, but, the personality's just a little bit different.
Yeah, and these are challenging times for those guys, man. Headed into next year, if in fact that happens, the revenue sharing and stuff, there's all kinds of decisions are going to have to be made.
Are you going to get your membership to the 1922 club?
I don't know. Probably not.
I
think it's an honorary membership, isn't it, at this point?
It should be, yeah. For Tim. 40-plus years.
Yeah. If it didn't involve cash, maybe.
All right, so did you embrace the games that you knew were going to be in the 90s as an offensive lineman?
No.
You did? It's
no.
tough.
Man, the worst ever, though, is when I was with the Raiders, my one and only game with the Raiders. It was 104 at kickoff. And I remember warm-ups. Warm-ups took like 5 minutes because we were all sweating. It didn't take much to get warm in that weather. And, if there was a little shade from the goalpost, there was 5 guys standing in that shade just to kind of, mostly the offensive line, just trying to cool off. But, it's hot. I was never a guy that really cramped, too much, obviously because I didn't have to run too much. But some of those guys, had to deal with that, get IVs at halftime, get IVs after the ball game. And, the good thing about Ohio State is they got depth, especially when you look at that defensive line. They can, roll 5-6 defensive ends through, probably 2 good groups of defensive tackles, linebackers, with Arvell Reese starting to step up. They can get some other guys. And, we saw Jermaine Matthews play pretty well when Denzel Burke had to go off for the targeting call. So we got some depth back there, and then certainly at safeties too. So, I think that helps out on a day like that. And, depth at wide receiver, depth at running back, so those guys can, if need be, roll out. But what I like is about noon, the sun's high enough where it's not hitting the press box anymore when we're sitting. So, we get some shade. But right now it's hot as heck up there. We had a cloud for a while, but the cloud went away.
Hey, we're still on we're still on daylight saving time. It stays there till 1 o'clock. It's no fun.
It is no fun at all. So 2 weeks ago, Ohio State played. They had 6 rushing touchdowns, 39 rush attempts, and 25 passes.
Yeah. No, that's ideal. Every offensive lineman will tell you they'd rather run the ball than pass the ball. A chance to come off the line of scrimmage and wear down. And I thought that's what you saw against the Broncos of Western Michigan. They wore them down in the second half, and some of those 5 and 6 yards became 8, 9, and 10 yards, and that's kind of what happens. The residual effect, so to speak, of beating up on the defensive linemen and knocking those guys down, making them get back up. So hopefully that's the case again today. And I think I calculated on Thursday talking to Coach Day that They had 136 total plays, 72 runs, 64 pass. So that's, kind of the balance you want to have. You like to be 50-50, just to kind of keep the defense off guard a little bit. But, a day like this, you like to run the ball, and, if you got the ability to do that, and certainly I think they do. And, I heard you guys talking about Donovan Jackson getting an opportunity to come back. That's obviously going to add to it, with, nothing against Austin Saravelt. He did a great job, but, Donovan's a two-time All-Big Ten football player. So have him the ability to come back, I'm sure he's going to be excited. And, as I kind of said this week, I was watching Donovan go through warm-ups. In the first two games, he went through warm-ups, and I had to go ask Jerry, are you sure he's not playing? Because, he looks like he wants to play and looks like he could play. And
looks sharp.
They're like, no, he's not going to play. And I'm like, okay. And then in this, second game, I go, are you really legit on this? And he goes, yeah, he's not going to play. So he should be fresh. He should be hungry, ready to go out there and hit somebody with an opposite. He's a guy that's had to go against our defensive line for the longest. So I'm sure he likes to beat up or get the opportunity to beat up on some other guys in those with the Thundering Herd.
Yeah, I think the Thundering Herd could offer a really nice test for the defense, for the offensive front.
I think their front seven's pretty good.
Yeah, and then number two, they like to blitz. They like to bring pressure. I mean, they play that way on both sides of the ball, really, when you think about the air raid's all about, trying to get some one-on-ones, things like that. But how do you think Ohio State has handled? I thought the first game, it was an average game for the offensive line. The second game, I thought they played extremely well for the offensive line. Shabola seems to really getting his feet under him and stuff. What is still the question mark in your mind, about this offensive front headed toward the Big Ten?
Well, Coach Day talked about improvement week last week, not a bye week, improvement week. And, that's what they had to do is go out there and find a way to improve, and that's what I want to see. I'm going to be looking for that. And, you're right. The first game, you had a couple one-yard gains there. You start the game with a 3-and-out, basically a 4-and-out with a penalty. You got to punt the ball, and, looking at Junkin stats, he had 4 carries for 4 yards. You're like, whoa.
Against a 48-point underdog.
Right, and you're like, something's not working here. And what I saw in game 2 was the guys, were taking the defensive tackle to the linebacker depth. They were getting some movement at the line of scrimmage. And, we always talk about if you can get to the defensive tackle's heels untouched, a running back's got an opportunity to pick up some pretty big yards. And that's what was happening. Getting blocks down the field, wide receivers, tight ends doing a good job at the second level, too, to open up some of those holes. And, you take away that 80-yarder, we had 780 or 683 yards. You had another 80 on that, 763. That would have been a historic-type day if that would have play counted. And the bad thing about it is the holding call came behind the play. Sooner or later you got to say, okay, when you see the back go by, you just kind of like, okay, I don't have to block anymore.
And then
I just run.
Yeah, then they ID'd the wrong guy for the penalty.
They got Rodgers and it was G. Scott.
And it really was inconsequential the way I looked at it. But hey,
it was
quick, on a day like today, though, as offensive linemen, did you like extended drives, or did you want to get that big pop play and get back on the? It didn't matter.
I like extended drives. Because that does take time off the clock and shortens the game a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you kind of move things down. But you're right. If you look at all the scoring drives that they had last week, I think the longest one was 8, and that was with the twos in the game towards the end. They were 4-play, 5-play, a couple 6-play drives, and you're into the house. So it happened pretty quick. They had some big plays, moving the chains, and I think at one point we hadn't had a third down yet. You know what I mean? We went through like 3 drives, scored 3 touchdowns, and didn't have a third down conversion. So
we still don't know really what Ohio State's red zone offense is going to look like.
They're 100% right now. Scoring in the red zone. So so far so good. But and then on the other side, how many? I think 4 out of 24 times that the defense has even let the opposing offense cross midfield. So when you're playing in, got them backed up like that, the punter better warm up extra hard.
Donovan Jackson back at left guard. We talked about him. You mentioned him earlier. Just the impact of that, Jim, and how that will work.
Well, I'm sure he's going to be anxious, you know what I mean, just to go out there and play. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a false start just because, he wants to fire off and hit somebody and, be active. But, him working inside with Seth McLaughlin, we saw it in practice. I've seen it in practice. It looks really good. But, again, you got to carry that over to game day. And then, as you mentioned, Tegra, Shabola really coming on, starting to make some plays, kind of getting his feet wet. By the time you get into your third start, you kind of understand. You're not as jittery as you were maybe on your first start, second start. Now you feel like you belong, and I think he, feels like he belongs out there. I thought our 2 tackles were playing awful well. I tried to ask Coach Day this week who's going to be that third tackle. Would you have Zen Mahosky or George Fitzpatrick? Would it be one of those guys go in right or left? And he's like, we'll have Zen at left and George at right if something would happen to those guys. But that's kind of what you look at, just the overall depth of the team. Carson Hintzman, obviously he played 14 games for us last year, 13. He's got the ability to go in there and be a pretty good football player, and he proved that last year. So having, him back, as a backup just, shows the amount of depth that they have on this team. But having Donovan back, again, I mentioned all Big Ten type performer. He's going to ready to go out there and, hunt a little bit against this herd. Yeah, it's kind of funny to think the offensive line could be that incrementally better. Yep. Today from a potential standpoint. But again, we talked about strength. Strength of the herd is their front 7. Right. I heard Paul talk about Mike Green, 6'4", 240-pounder, transferred from Virginia. Right. Redshirt freshman, so the guy's still pretty young, but 14 tackles, 3.5 sacks. He's been very active when he's got his opportunities in there. And again, you're going to challenge the depth. Are they going to play? And, you talked about the air raid offense. If I'm, gets those defensive line, now, again, they get rid of the ball. It's kind of a catch the quarterback throw. He's not holding it for 3 or 4 seconds back there. But if you can cover guys up, you're exposing your quarterback. So, and I thought that was kind of smart by the Broncos down 21-0. They only threw 15 times. They weren't going to expose it like they saw Ben Finley get beat up against, Ohio State versus Akron. So I think what you got to kind of be smart in these games if you're the opposing coach going against this defensive line. And if they do get rid of the ball early, that's a good opportunity for the defensive line just to get their hands up and tip some passes. And tip passes could mean interceptions.
Yeah. Good stuff, Jim. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Great to be here. Sorry I missed you the last 2 weeks, but I was watching those Hawkeyes up there in the press box.
More than entitled. Yeah. You'll have a big one
tonight.
Big one tonight.
The Gophers.
Good luck, too.
That is a good game, man.
Fellas. How about last night? The Illini coming back.
Great game.
Great game. I couldn't stay up for that whole thing, but
you
read
missed
the report this morning.
Yeah. Overtime, baby.
You made it, huh?
And then it was like Nebraska had never seen these blitzes that Illinois threw at them.
So beat him. I had his team ready to go.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Jimmy, have a good call.
All right, talk to you soon.
The Jim Lachey segment sponsored by Schmidt's Sausage House. Why tailgate when you can Schmidt-gate? When we come back, they got a goal for this defense today. Can they hold Marshall's home run hitter down? We'll talk about it next on the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
We're seeing a few more brake lights around the Lane Avenue and Ackerman Road exits on 315 north and southbound, but things are moving. Off the highway onto the surface streets, you're going to find Kenny Road pretty busy between Lane and Kinnear, Lane between High Street and Olentangy River Road. And speaking of surface streets around the stadium, they just opened the doors for the Skull Session at St. John a little while ago. Also, they opened Fan Fest on the St. John lawn. Be aware of a lot more pedestrian traffic in that area. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Ohio's pickup truck headquarters, Valley Ford of Columbus. Whether you're heading to the game or heading to the job site, Valley has the Ford F-150 selection to bring home a winner. Take it from me, a real Valley Ford customer. Buy or lease, you're going to save big money. That's because my team at Valley always works hard to get you the better deal because they know you work harder. Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of Carnell Tate and T-Bone. More details, valleyfordofcolumbus.com.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Kemba Financial Credit Union pays you to save. Get a $300 bonus with a new money market account and earn a premium interest rate on your money. It adds up to big-time savings for your goals and dreams. Visit Kemba.org to check our rates and learn more. Restrictions apply. Bonus requires Advantage status and $10,000 minimum balance be deposited in the first 30 days and maintained to qualify for a $100 bonus at 90 days and $200 at 180 days after opening. Federally insured by NCUA. Offer ends September 30th.
Taking out the trash.
That's what we're all about at Bourne Brothers Waste Services. This is Justin Bourne,
Zach Bourne, and Jacoby Bourne, former Ohio State football players.
We are your company for all of your trash and recycling needs.
Providing services that include front-load containers, mini and large roll-offs, and compactors.
Contact us today for the best service in town.
Bourne Brothers.
Bourne Brothers.
The real local trash company.
Taking out the trash.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Kurgis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Kurgis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
You want an easy way to feed your friends? You get a Jersey Mike's catering box. You want an exciting radio idea? You get me. Like this. There's a Jersey Mike's catering box off the coast of Corsica that needs rescuing. Me and a team of mercenaries go in, barrel rolling past the sleeping guard, and we find the catering box in a secret bunker. I say, men, let's get these 12 subs home. But they're already eating them. That's the problem with mercenaries. You can't trust them. The Jersey Mike's catering box, a sub above.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than with family. Like the Toyota truck family. Now through September 30th, get $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra, depending on model. Or lease a Tacoma SR double cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Looking for your next Subaru? At Byers Airport Subaru, we give you options from start to finish. Browse and shop entirely online from the comfort of your home at ColumbusSubaru.com or stop by and visit one of our friendly brand specialists just by the airport.
Right now, you can get the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester for 3.9% for up to 48 months.
Whether you prefer to click or come in, we've got you covered. Your journey starts at Byers Airport Subaru. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 48 months on 2025 Subaru Forester. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 9/30/24.
This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning, everybody. Well, so we'll start with scores from last night. We had a top 25 matchup in the Big Ten as number 24 Illinois beats number 22 Nebraska in Lincoln 31-24 in overtime as the Fighting Illini improved to 4-0. And Stanford beat Syracuse 26-24 for their first ever ACC win. Today, third-ranked Ohio State is back at it as the Buckeyes take on Marshall for their final non-conference game of this season. Kickoff at the Shoe is at noon. Just one other top 25 team kicking off at noon today that has NC State on the road against number 21 Clemson. And we got a couple of Big Ten teams that'll get started at noon today as well. Indiana will host Charlotte, and Villanova faces Maryland in College Park. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, Bronco Explorer, Mustang Mach-E, and more. Ride into autumn with Valley Ford of Columbus. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Kurgis & Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT.
If you're listening to the Buckeyes, you're listening to us. Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan.
Oh, yeah, they're back on campus, and they are big and strong today for Ohio State. Your kickoff forecast sponsored by Byers Auto. Come see why it's better to buy from Byers. 84 degrees expected to kick off. Light wind. By the time we get into the fourth quarter, we should creep into the low 90s. I think the record is back in the 1800s. It was 96. I think we're going to threaten it today.
That was Tim's freshman year.
That was.
Yeah. My sophomore year.
Yeah, that was rough.
I redshirted.
Yeah, there was no AC in that dorm room at that point, right? Just fans, right?
I was actually red skinned because I got sunburned. You know what's really funny? Yeah, we have learned the last several weeks.
Besides that joke was funny, too.
I know it was. But we've learned the last several weeks of what it's like to live close to Phoenix because it's been hot and really dry. I don't know about y'all.
No, I actually had a coworker.
You get in the shade and it's a different feel.
I had a coworker go down to Cancun for like a work trip or something.
Yeah.
he said it was hotter here than in Cancun.
Oh yeah. Well, they got the ocean right there.
I get it, but I'm like, man.
I'll never forget. I went down and took my 3 kids and and various people down to Texas one time in the middle of July for some dumb reason, and all throughout Lufkin and East Texas, it was like over 100 every day until we went to Galveston, and it was in the low 90s because of the Gulf of Mexico, which, by the way, is about 90 degrees. And it's amazing how much cooler 90 degrees feels than 100.
I bet.
It's always cooler when you're on vacation, though, right?
Oh,
It never feels as hot. I used to go to Vegas in August all the time because I knew I'd be in and out of casinos all day.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it really didn't matter.
You're an idiot if you go outside and walk around in Vegas in July.
Speaking of Vegas, we'll have Scotty Vegas on in the following segment to handicap this one. The goal that the game within the game, I talked about, listen, Ohio State hasn't allowed an offensive touchdown this year. You're playing on this defense. That's a streak you want to continue. It's a streak you probably feel that's realistic today, Andy. The other one is A.J. Turner and this 100 yards, trying to keep a running back under 100. I don't know if that was ever a goal of yours, if you saw a guy that had back-to-back 100-yard rushing games, and he was coming into your stadium. And I know he had a long one, about a 70-yarder, but is that ever brought up? That I know that the game plan and the strategy maybe usually, especially against Marshall, isn't around one guy. But as a linebacker or a defender, did you ever say, hey, they got a guy that's rushed for 100 yards back-to-back? Not in our house.
So, obviously we had our own goals, like individually, but collectively, our team would, our coordinators would tell us what kind of the team goals were. It was never really about not giving up a touchdown because a fluke play could happen, someone could slip, whatever, and they could score, or a punt return. But you try to set reasonable goals for the opponent you're playing to kind of build, put blocks, keep on stacking for what you're trying to get to. Yeah. We always tried to rush. We always tried to limit top rushers. Or good passers or off whatever, and try to get as many 3 outs as possible. Stuff that really tried to make us cohesive as a team, not really individual players making plays.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's all about, like you just said, zero in on their big guy.
Right.
I mean, don't let that guy beat you. Make them beat you left-handed, as the old saying goes. I mean, that will be on their mind. I think their quarterback has more rushes than their most rushed running back, I think, going into this game, Stone Earl. So it'll be interesting to see how Ohio State attempts to handle him. And the thing about shutouts anymore, there's luck involved, too. Because, let's face it, Western Michigan missed a 42-yard field goal or wherever it was.
Right.
A makeable field goal the last time out. But that was their only sniff. That's what stood out about that game.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good day. I mean, Akron had a few more, for one of the term, sniffs, and they, ended up with 2 field goals. But the idea that through the first 2 games, I don't care if you're playing against air, that you haven't given up a touchdown, that's pretty good.
I mean, you could argue as a defensive player that they played better against Akron than they did
Western
Michigan. Because you have 2 defensive touchdowns, the turnovers, and really,
won the game themselves.
Right. They outscored Akron themselves on top of giving up plays and then stopping and shutting them down and holding the field goal twice.
Well, the other thing you're managing is, as a coach, win the game, obviously, but if a shutout is there and the possibility you have one, now you're managing, I'm going to put my backups in to try to preserve this shutout. And so, today's the kind of day, and I was going to ask you about how much they want to push these guys today. You're going into Big Ten season. I know they're coming out of a bye. How do they balance the weather, the sharpness, the game? I know it's situational, but let's go on the hypothetical that this game's in control. Is it more important to make sure you get what you want out of this game from a sharpness, from a strategy-wise, versus preserving them?
Ooh, that's a good question. Knowing you have another bye coming up,
October 19th,
right?
Yeah.
Coming up soon, relatively.
That'll be after Oregon.
I know, but I'm saying it's relatively soon in the grand scheme of things. I would have. We talked about having a fast start. I would emphasize that and make sure that they execute. And as long as they execute, and the score could be not as definitive, but you're going to go out there and get guys involved.
Yeah, and what's been on display the first 2 games of this year for Ohio State is how deep this roster truly is from a talent standpoint, because the backups went in, especially on defense, and really didn't give up. They didn't give up hardly anything against Western Michigan and gave up very little against Akron. So those are guys who are qualified to play, and they want to get out there and do something themselves. Pride is on the line from a shutout standpoint, no matter who's out there. And the upperclassmen or the starters let the backups know about it. You know? But there are a lot of those backups who could be playing a lot of places. And like Jermaine Matthews stepping right in for Denzel Burke and hardly missing a beat. When Denzel Burke, by the way, incorrectly got tossed from that game.
Oh, such a bad call.
He got hit. He got hit in the side of the helmet. And I don't know. See, you don't fault the guy who calls it on the field because he saw two helmets come together.
Right.
You fault the replay.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And I know Ryan Day was really upset by that because you could see it on the big screen, but the replay's supposed to fix that, and it didn't.
Yeah.
Well, it's not perfect. You know that, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, what are you looking at?
Right, I know.
My question is, what are you looking at?
Well, it's the grayness of the.
I'm throwing that as a rhetorical question.
Right. No, but I'm saying it's the grayness of this rule.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yep.
That's it.
All right, guys, we'll come back as Tabittle marches through, and you can hear it perfectly. We'll have Scotty Vegas up next to handicap this one. We'll update the spread and the over-under next, right here on the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
We're seeing volumes increase, especially on 315 around the Ackerman and Lane Avenue exits, both north and southbound. Nothing out of the ordinary, just the usual heavy volumes for a game day. Off on the surface streets, we're crowded on Lane Avenue, of course, right around the stadium. They did just open the doors for the Skull session a little while ago, and that has increased pedestrian traffic in the area as well. And a couple of parking notes. The Fawcett Center and Ag Campus lots are full. West Campus and Buckeye lots still have some spots available. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
Thousands of vehicles are waiting. ReichertFord.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
Bobby Carpenter here for my good friends at Ohio Mulch. Ready to give your landscaping a boost? Right now, get topsoil for $19.99 a cubic yard or grab 20 bags for $20. From rich, natural mulches to nutrient-packed soils, stop into any of Ohio Mulch's convenient locations and see what all the excitement is about. Visit in-store or online at ohiomulch.com.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better.
Barely 5 hours a week. It's how much time most of us spend outdoors. Not nearly enough time getting lost in canopies of breathtaking fall colors. Brilliant hues extending all across America's third most forested state. We could all use a little more time outdoors, soothing mind, body, and spirit in West Virginia. Plan your fall getaway at wvtourism.com.
Looking for your next Subaru? At Byers Airport Subaru, we give you options from start to finish. Browse and shop entirely online from the comfort of your home at columbussubaru.com or stop by and visit one of our friendly brand specialists just by the airport.
Right now, you can get the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester for 3.9% for up to 48 months.
Whether you prefer to click or come in, we've got you covered. Your journey starts at Byers Airport Subaru. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 48 months on 2025 Subaru Forester. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 9/30/24.
Bishop and Friends.
The only thing not DVRable is sports you care about. You are leveraged because of that. It's the reason that these rights deals are going for as big as they are.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dorn, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their Tidy Whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Kurgis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Kurgis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is strong as ever with low monthly payments on some of our most popular models. Lease a new 25 Civic Sport or HRV all-wheel drive. You choose just $259 a month for 36 months. Or get a new 24 Accord Hybrid Sport for just $299 a month. And don't forget our $49 oil change where we'll get it done in an hour or it's free. So come and see us. Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
No. First down!
Oh, what? Just cleared that drain last week.
Well, clearly, that didn't work. Would you please just call the waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. We'll get your drains good as new on the first down. And as for him, well, there's always the Buckeyes. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Hello, I like football. I have nothing clever to say. This is the Kurgis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Kurgis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
All right, back on campus. Scotty Vegas is with us, handicapper to the Stars. Good to see you, my man.
Oh, good to be here. Good to be here. Love it, Anthony.
All right, little debate here because before the season, you asked me what percentage I would give Ohio State to win the national title this year. Ooh. You said while the experts were giving them a lower chance than I thought. So this is how I computed it in my mind. If I feel Ohio State is at minimum a semifinal team this year, I gave them a 50% chance to win it all. If they make the semis, they're not going to be more than a 3-point dog to anybody. And I figured 50% sounded right. You said I was nuts, that I was way high. I think you were at, 20 or 30%?
I think I was 30%.
And the experts were at what percentage?
So the implied odds for Ohio State to win it all, they're plus 350 right now to win it all. Yeah. And so you're looking at between 20 and 30% is what the implied odds would be.
Have you changed your opinion through 2 weeks?
No.
With seeing the rest of the country?
And you know I've invested in Ohio State winning it all. I think they will win it all. But 50% is way too high. You mentioned them making the semifinals. So that's 4 teams left. So that's a 1-4 shot at that point. So you're looking at more like a 25%.
If they're not playing all 4, they'd only have to beat 2.
Right.
Ooh, that's true.
Right, but you're talking about 50%.
But you haven't eliminated one of those yet. Yeah.
Right? So you have to win the semifinal, which you're saying is about a 50-50 game. And then you have to win the final, which is about a 50-50 game. So you're looking at a 20 to 25%.
Okay. Well, hold on. Sorry.
No, continue.
I was just saying, it's not I don't know if it's 50-50 because it's all about the matchup.
Yeah.
Ohio State could have a great matchup, could have a horrible matchup, and they could have better or worse odds, you know?
For sure. I mean, it's going to depend on the field.
Who would they be a dog to right now, if anybody? Nobody, right?
Well, here's the deal. They're co-favorites in a lot of places now to win it all with Georgia. So you got to assume that they would probably be close to a pick-em against Georgia.
Anybody.
Now, Texas, with Quinn Ewers out for a while, their odds have dropped a little bit in the national championship race, but you got to figure if both Texas is fully healthy and Ohio State's fully healthy on a neutral field, that's probably a 1 or a 2-point spread.
Yeah.
What about with Oregon? What about if it was where's that trending?
Well, so the funny thing is, you bring up Oregon. In the look-ahead lines, Ohio State was a slight underdog before the season started, going to Oregon. And that was like a one-point difference. Now, Oregon looked bad for their first couple weeks. Looked fantastic last week.
Second half, yeah.
Yeah, I would say you're probably looking at, if it was a neutral field, you're probably talking a OSU -4. That's probably about, because Oregon's 11-1 to win it all, so they're still a top 5 team as far as odds to win it all.
How tectonic is the matchup Alabama-Georgia next week, which will, I would think, has the propensity to really flip some things.
It's enormous.
From a odds standpoint, et cetera.
And, guys, there's already an odds.
And it's at Alabama.
And odds are already out on that game. And Bama's a 2.5-point home underdog in that game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, though, because Georgia did not look good last week at all.
Nope.
Barely getting by Kentucky. And so that's why you see some sports books have actually moved Ohio State to be the betting favorite to win the national championship after last week, how Georgia looked. And Georgia got dominated up front by Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky was able to run the ball all over them, control the clock. So that had to give Buckeye fans a lot of confidence, seeing Georgia struggle the way they did.
They're a 40-point favorite today. Over-under is 53, so it ticked up a hair. Were you laying the points today?
I am, and I kind of went back and forth on it. You know, it's funny because Marshall's one of those teams who's actually had the history of pulling off huge, crazy upsets before. Did it a couple years ago against Notre Dame. They were 20.5-point underdog when they won 2 years ago at Notre Dame. They are double that today against Ohio State, so it's not even comparable. In fact, Marshall to win the game is 50-1.
Yeah.
The odds it's absolutely ridiculous. They're not winning the football
honestly,
game.
I haven't even seen a money line on this game.
But hold on, doesn't Notre Dame have an issue at home against big favorites?
They do. They do.
Being a big favorite,
in fact, Notre Dame this year 0-1 against the MAC. 1-0 against the Big Ten. You know, dominated that. 1-0 against the SEC. 0-1 against the MAC, and they have another MAC opponent today.
You know why? Because when you go to Notre Dame to play, just like you come to Ohio State and play, you want to show out. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's your spot. I want to ask you this, though, but do you agree that Ohio State should be a bigger favorite over Marshall than it was over Western Michigan?
No. I think Marshall's a little bit better of a team.
You know where I'm going. I mean, you know, it's always relative. I know.
And I'm so glad you guys talked about this during the show earlier. Is Marshall with the high up tempo offense?
Right.
They want to play fast.
That benefits Ohio State in the 40 points, right? Because more chances for turnovers, more plays, and that's just going to benefit Ohio State. I remember years ago when Ohio State had one of the top basketball teams in the country going into the March Madness, and the way that their opponent, who was a 16 seed, came in, it was like, we're going to limit the possessions, right? We're going to run the shot clock. And they hung with Ohio State for a while, knowing that they were playing keep away.
Yeah.
And Marshall doesn't play that style. Marshall plays, we're going to go fast, we're going to go. So I think that benefits.
Defense, too.
Yeah. And so I think that benefits taking Ohio State minus 40, because I think you'll probably see a mistake, maybe even a pick six or something like that as well.
Michigan, USC. Where's the smart money there? What are you seeing there?
So
I'm not trying to get you to give me a forecast on where Michigan's program is headed.
This one has been so interesting to watch this week, because when the line initially came out last Sunday, USC was a 6-point favorite in that game. And my initial feeling was Michigan's coming off looking really, really bad, and USC has that win over LSU. So it feels like, okay, do you buy in on USC? Well, the money has been coming in on Michigan because that spread has gone from 6 all the way down to 4, which is a significant move across a couple key numbers there. So it's a game where I felt like USC is probably the play, but it's a game I'm staying away from because I'm totally confused by the line movement.
So it feels like not a last stand but as far as whatever Michigan thinks that they could edge into the playoffs, this is a very important game for them to protect home field against USC because of the games they have coming up, Oregon, Ohio State. Like, I feel like I agree with you on a stay away. It's got a last stand feel.
Yeah.
The other problem is we just don't know what they're going to be at quarterback, what Orgy's going to give them in the run game, and what USC is going to be able to do defensively.
My take on it is they're going to get after Orgy. I'm talking about USC. USC has a new sheriff in town on defense, and it is obvious.
Yeah.
And then
they play fast.
And they get after. They're going to score points. That's what I keep saying about Lincoln Riley. Yeah, they can't stop anybody, but they're going to score points. And I think this has I really think this has a chance to go really one-sided.
Yeah.
It feels like.
So you like USC?
Yeah, I like USC.
Yeah, so do I. Because I think the change of quarterback says a lot about Michigan and their program.
Oh yeah,
and I feel that exact same way. Like, my initial thought was when that line came out, 6 isn't enough. And then the line kept going the other way, and that's why I'm staying away, because that confuses me.
You know what? There's a reason why they call you Scotty Vegas.
Listen, I understand that, But usually you try to stay away from public if the public's on one side.
Right.
But the public was crazy on the side of Texas when they went into Michigan. Look what happened.
Yeah.
So the public won that one too. So it can happen where I understand your mindset of stay away because everyone says Michigan's going to implode and USC should go in there and rip them apart. But I fear this last. They got embarrassed at their stadium. What do they have left? We'll see.
Well, and USC beat LSU. Yeah. We don't know how good LSU is. That was a tight game.
Right.
Could have gone either way. USC's defense definitely looks improved, but I don't know if I'm completely sold on USC's offense yet. I mean, we'll have to see. They didn't do a ton against LSU.
Yeah,
so
I like your offense. Miller Moss is, I think, but my big question is Michigan's offense. I mean,
of course. I think that's why you take the under.
I think the big question for Michigan and USC is, can USC stop the run?
Yeah.
LSU and who else they play?
What I like about what I like about USC though, they are so much more sound defensively than they were a year ago. I'm talking about guys being in the right place. That doesn't mean you're always going to make the tackle, but it's a different look.
I want to ask you guys this question. Play odds maker for me real quick, because Ohio State obviously through 2 weeks has not given up an offensive touchdown, right? And so we have 2 more games in the month of September. Obviously today against Marshall, and then next week on the road at Michigan State. What odds would you guys say for Ohio State to not give up a touchdown in the month of September?
A defensive touchdown or touchdown?
Just to give up a touchdown in the month of September. So we're talking 2 more games. They've done it through the first 2 weeks. They've given up 6 points total, 2 field goals. Can they go 2 more weeks without giving up a touchdown?
No.
You think they do? What odds would you need? Because I would say.
No, I'm saying they'll give up a touchdown.
You do think they will?
Yeah.
Now you're talking about defense giving up a touchdown.
Yes.
Yeah. I think they're definitely better than they were 2 games ago. But I don't know. Michigan State still isn't impressing me. You understand what I'm saying? And I think this defense matches up pretty good today against what Marshall wants to do. I don't know. How would I assign those odds? Like 20-1? I mean, what are you looking at?
Whatever you think. I'm thinking. I honestly, that's my bold pick. I think that Ohio State's not going to give up a touchdown in the entire first month of the season. I don't think Marshall's going to.
What would your odds
I would say probably about 5 or 6 to 1.
5 or 6 to 1.
Like it would not shock me if they go through September without giving up a touchdown.
I'd need more than that. I'd need more than that to make the bet.
Exactly.
I'm with Tim.
Yeah.
I'd need somewhere in the 20 to 25 to 1 range that they wouldn't give up a touchdown at Michigan State.
Think
today? Fine. I think you can get to the Michigan State game. I just think last time you pitched a shutout on the road against a Big Ten team would be very interesting. I would need at least 20 to 1 to make that bet.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun thing to track because its defenses look so awesome.
Yeah.
And obviously the competition will step up next week a little bit. But I think that's my bold pick that they will not give up a touchdown on this month.
Real quickly, would you entertain coming out of a bye just betting the half today, minus 24.5?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
fast start, heat, get them out.
And the fast tempo, right?
Yeah.
I really believe that they will get out and go quickly, and I think doing that gives Ohio State a huge advantage.
Both
with that
bets
number.
might be fun, but you can't do them together. I assume those are so correlated you couldn't parlay that, half and the game?
That's correct.
Yeah, I figured. All right, Scotty, thank you, my man.
Thank
You're laying
you.
the 40. Are we going over or under 53?
I'm going to say under.
Okay.
Look, I told you I don't think Marshall's scoring a touchdown, so Ohio State would almost have to get there on their own. I'll take like a 45 to 3 type win.
I'm in that.
I like Ohio State getting into the 50s for the 3rd straight game, so that's where I am.
We got to cut you loose, man. Good luck on your bets today. That is Scotty Vegas. We'll come back with keys to the game. Game day coverage sponsored by Reichert Ford on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Quite a few people trying to get off of 315 north and southbound, specifically at Lane Avenue, also on Ackerman. Just use a little bit of patience there and you'll be okay. Off on the surface streets, we're crowded on Olentangy from King to Lane. On Lane Avenue, basically very crowded between High Street and Olentangy River Road. And as you're driving right around the stadium area, be aware they're about to open stadium gates, and that will mean a lot more pedestrians. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than the roomy new Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time, so you can take your travels even farther. Now through September 30th, you can lease a Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing with approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Book your room now. Toyota. Let's go places.
Attention Ohio pizza restaurant owners. Tired of glitchy point-of-sale systems slowing you down? Meet Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. With reliable hardware, an easy-to-use system, and 24/7 customer support, Hunger Rush speeds up your operations and boosts repeat orders by up to 10%. This is the restaurant point-of-sale built for pizza. Easily manage your drivers, easily take orders online, easily train your staff in minutes, and easily make modifications. Need to talk to a real person? That's easy too. Top Ohio pizzerias are winning with Hunger Rush. Solutions to help you streamline service, optimize workflows, and maximize profits. Join the thousands of successful restaurants transforming their operations with Hunger Rush for $0 down and $0 a month. Tools for menu management, marketing, customer engagement, and increased upsells, all in one simple platform. That's Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. Schedule your free no-obligation demo at ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Start Reaction Monday off in style with Bobby and Beam on Morning Juice. They're talking Buckeyes at 6:20, 7:20, and 8:20, and probably all the other minutes in between.
Reaction Monday is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan.
Taking out the trash. That's what we're all about at Bourne Brothers Waste Services. This is Justin Bourne,
Zach Bourne,
and Jacoby Bourne,
former Ohio State football players.
We are your company for all of your trash and recycling needs.
Providing services that include front-load containers, mini and large roll-offs, and compactors.
Contact us today for the best service in town.
Bourne Brothers.
Bourne Brothers.
The real local trash company.
Taking out the trash.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Curtis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Curtis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
Looking for your next Subaru? At Byers Airport Subaru, we give you options from start to finish. Browse and shop entirely online from the comfort of your home at columbussubaru.com or stop by and visit one of our friendly brand specialists just by the airport.
Right now, you can get a new 2025 Subaru Outback for 2.9% for up to 72 months.
Whether you prefer to click or come in, we've got you covered. Your journey starts at Byers Airport Subaru. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 72 months on 2025 Subaru Outback. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 9/30/24.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dorn, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their Tidy Whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. We had a top 25 matchup last night in the Big Ten as number 24 Illinois went on the road and beat number 22 Nebraska in overtime, 31-24. The Fighting Illini improved to 4-0 this season. As we look ahead to today, we got three more ranked matchups to look forward to. At 3:30, number 11 Southern California takes on number 18 Michigan in Ann Arbor. At 4, number 12 Utah will visit number 14 Oklahoma State in Stillwater. And tonight at 7:30, number 6 Tennessee faces number 15 Oklahoma in Norman. We know that third-ranked Ohio State is back from their bye week today as the Buckeyes host Marshall for a noon kickoff at the Shoe. Defensive tackle Tyleek Williams is out today for the Buckeyes, but guard Donovan Jackson is back in the lineup for the offensive line. This update is sponsored by Valley Florida Columbus. From F-150 to F-750, Valley Florida Columbus is Ohio's commercial truck headquarters. Breaking sports news when it happens here on The Fan.
Rothman wakes up every morning next to a bottle of gin and says, "Today's a good day for a Buckeye victory." Well, today he happens to be right. You're listening to the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Kurgis & Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Today's keys to the game are sponsored by Toyota.
Brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, I got to tell you that if they kicked it off right now, it would be absolutely beautiful. A little breeze has come through. We have overcast, and suddenly it doesn't feel like this is going to be.
I told you, it's like Phoenix now, man.
Death Valley.
You get the shade. It's totally cool.
But I mean, this is actually the breeze is actually.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't believe it. But we are expecting 90s today at some point, so plan accordingly on that. Listen, we've talked about it. It's weird. You have a team that likes to throw the ball around and air raid this thing. And I would ask Andy this question first. So is the defensive strategy force them into what they already want to do? Load up, stop the run, force them to pass the ball, create opportunities that way? I mean, they're completing, 44%? Earl's completing like 44%.
He had a semi-bad day at Virginia Tech.
I mean, he completed 13 of 36.
Yeah. That's a bad day.
So my question to you is, do we lead them right to where they want to go?
Right. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Try to force 3 and outs.
Set up that defensive strategy for me from a Jim Knowles standpoint. When I say load up, tell the listeners what you envision.
Well, I think our skill set, if we can stop the run and make them predictable passing, then our cover guys can cover as needed. If you get some third and longs, 3rd and 7 plus, where you can maybe bring some zone pressure, man pressure, get some confusion if needed, or just get after them with our front 4. That way we know what they're going to be doing, and that way we can stop them, get our offense in the field, and boom.
How is the defense aggressive with also making sure they limit explosiveness? Is that a balance at all or no? Or do you just,
you got 2 really good safeties back there.
It's funny. So a couple years ago, they played more like a bend, don't break. Last year, similar. This year, I think that Jim Knowles feels comfortable with his cover guys on the perimeter. Especially and then even safety wise, what he has covering inside routes and tight ends and backs, that kind of stuff. So I think he can probably feel more aggressive. He just hasn't needed to be this year. So
yeah, I would expect him to play some kind of form of man under a lot, because this offense, if it lives on those little mesh routes, little short, quick outs, things like that, where they're getting the ball off, quick slants, things like that, where they're getting the ball off before the defensive pressure can get to them. The key on this, Andy, too, I think you agree, you got to have constant pressure, because boy, if there's just one pump fake,
right,
you want your guys all over this dude, and that's what Ohio State's going to play. But I'm really interested to see if Ohio State goes man and goes in particular man with like Denzel Burke against this Christian Fitzpatrick wherever he goes, because they put him in the slot sometimes. They do little different things with him. He's their real, in my opinion, their real weapon. He's a big dude. He's pretty fast. He catches. You've seen him catch the ball. But I don't know if there's a better matchup there, Denzel Burke and him, or Davis and Igbinosin and him. But then you take into account Jordan Hancock is a pretty darn good nickel back. And so I'm going to be curious as the game develops, see what they do with that player in particular, because you got to neutralize, or at least not him get the big explosive on you.
Right, for sure. No, go ahead.
I'm also curious about the offensive line for Ohio State in pass protection today. Donovan Jackson's back. They're going to want to throw it. The one big strength right now for Marshall has been getting after the quarterback, and they've been able to do that. Now, I know it's not against Ohio State, so that's why I'm curious about it, to see whether the Buckeyes' offensive line, which wasn't great in the first game, got much better in the second game. Now Donovan's back. Will they feel that, okay, we are back kind of a feeling, and protect Will and let him throw it around? Because I think that's the big – you want to feel nice and secure going into Big Ten season, that your offensive line is is shored up and where it needs to be.
Well, there's something about, having offensive line play. We talked about it a lot last year because of the inexperience that they had, and even a little bit this year, just having guys out. In the run game, the running back can help make the offensive line look really good. In the pass game, the quarterback can make the offensive line look really good in pass blocking. So, with Will Howard having experience coming in and playing in a different system, but getting more experience under this system, he looked better in Game 2 than he did in Game 1. And then our running back duo, they both can make guys miss, and I feel like there's an art to running when you have that much talent to not run so fast that you run into holes.
Patient.
And you're patient, and I think we saw it more last week than even in week 1 as well.
Yeah.
So really the offensive line play last week was fantastic because of the progressions that we had at quarterback and the running back.
Yeah, I reiterate, there are going to be possibilities for big plays in the running game because of the way Marshall plays so aggressively up front. You're going to leave some things uncovered. That's just the way it is. And the other thing that stood out about Will Howard last week, I thought he really had a real awareness of what was going on in front of him before and during a play. And that just shows you the veteran presence that this guy has. You saw it last night. Boy, overtime, Illinois said, we're getting after Dylan Raiola, take our chances. And it worked because he was a freshman quarterback.
Keys to the game sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And we'll go places with our guy Paul Keels next as we do a final check-in with him in the booth. The Buckeyes are doing their march into the Skull session, and we'll also do our final predictions when we come back. This is the Kurgis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show. Remember, they don't get paid unless you get paid right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Heavy volumes, but no major issues. Things are moving on 315 north and southbound, just crowded between Ackerman and Lane Avenue. Speaking of Lane Avenue, basically between High Street and Olentangy River Road, you're going to find a lot of friends on that roadway right now. Olentangy is crowded from King to Ackerman and Kenny Road between Kinnear and Lane. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
First down! Yes!
Oh, what? Just cleared that drain last week.
Well, clearly that didn't work. Would you please just call the waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. We'll get your drains good as new on the first down. And as for him, well, there's always the Buckeyes. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Football is all about winning, and so is the Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. With 4 dealerships and a collision center, we've got everything you need to stay game day ready. Don't forget our Carvenience service, the most convenient way to service your vehicle. We pick it up, drop off a rental, and we bring it back to you when it's done. Plus, every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Hinderer Motor Company, where convenience and confidence meet. Visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Hello, friends. The Sportsbook at Hollywood Casinos, the official sports betting sponsor of Common Man and T-Bone. Watch the games, get in on the action, and admire their AstroTurf. It's Man and Bone approved. The Fan.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Taking out the trash. That's what we're all about at Bourne Brothers Waste Services. This is Justin Bourne,
Zach Bourne, and Jacoby Bourne, former Ohio State football players.
We are your company for all of your trash and recycling needs.
Providing services that include front-load containers, mini and large roll-offs, and compactors. Contact us today for the best service in town. Bourne Brothers.
Bourne Brothers,
the real local trash company.
Taking out the trash.
Hey folks, Bobby Carpenter here. I picked up my brand new Toyota Tundra last week and I absolutely love it from my guy Marcello at Germain Toyota. And right now you can lease the powerful Toyota Tundra SR5 for just $409 per month. That's 36 months, 10,000 miles per year, built to handle tough jobs and thrilling journeys. The Toyota Tundra SR5 is the ultimate companion for work and play. These deals are rolling out fast, so don't wait. Visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net. Offer ends soon. See dealer for details.
Next. The last thing you want to do is take another trip to the doctor's office.
And sign here and here and here.
Save yourself the hassle by visiting VeriHeal.com to talk to a state-licensed medical provider about medical cannabis. You'll see if you pre-qualify in just a few minutes. Simple as that. That'll make your day go from this to this. Visit VeriHeal.com. VeriHeal. VeriHeal.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It's going to be a hot start to the weekend. Temperatures soaring in the afternoon into the low 90s, which is pretty far above average for us for this time of year. But winds will be light, and we'll see those clear skies continue overnight, with lows dropping into the 60s. Sunday, mostly sunny to start, with clouds increasing throughout the day. Daytime highs soaring into the low 90s. Rain chances overnight into Monday morning. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo.
Chicken wings, check. Drinks, check. Listening to the Fan, check. It must be game day.
Sponsored by Reichert Ford.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. You're listening to the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show.
Curtis and Associates, attorneys who care. Call 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT.
Every game, every season. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
All right, back at it, inching closer to kickoff. The man at the mic is the one and only Paul Keels, and our final check-in is sponsored by Byers Imports. Byers Imports, Hamilton Road by the airport. All right, Big Daddy, what's coming up?
Well, coming up, as always, we'll hear from both head coaches, Ryan Day from Ohio State and Marshall head coach Charles Huff. Clay Hall will talk with lineman Tegra Shabola about Ohio State's offense and how they've operated through the first two games. We'll hear comments on the same subject from Ohio State's offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly. Steve Cotton, the radio voice of the Thundering Herd, will give us his outlook on their first two games of the season. We'll also hear from Mickey Jackson, a former Ohio State assistant, but he was an assistant on the Marshall staff that tragically perished in that 1970 plane crash. And as always, we will have our award-winning, world-famous We Are Marshall High Noon Kickoff, Pub 13. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Tudor's Biscuits and Gravy version of Buckeye Flashback with Hall of Famer Skip Mossick. That's coming up shortly, fellas.
All right, sounds great, Paul. Thanks. Enjoy the call.
You're welcome.
There
All
he
right.
is. I loved his little Earth, Wind, and Fire drop there.
Yeah,
if you
that
got
was
it.
pretty interesting.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Very well done there, Paul, as usual. We've gone through an entire pregame show, and I think it's almost obligatory now that we need to mention Jeremiah Smith because, but I think it's because of Marshall. We figure it's going to be a name your score game, name your play game. But if you're doing that, you might as well include him because he leads Ohio State with 11 grabs for 211 and 3 scores. And now, will the challenge be tougher this week against Marshall? Who knows? They do get after the quarterback a little bit. They'll try to. They don't want to give Will Howard that much time to sit there and try to spot up his guys. But everything might open up if this run game gets cooking early for Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Andy.
No, absolutely. I think, Marshall hasn't played a formidable opponent yet, really. I mean,
remember Virginia Tech got beat by Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's hard to really gauge the opponent of Marshall today. That being said, Ohio State just, keep on playing, establish the run game, be dominant on defense, and when opportunities come, pass the ball.
Listen, said at the beginning of the show, the last thing you want to do is be in a game with an opponent that you've paid $1.5 million to actually be here and play the game.
What you want to do is get your money's worth.
I don't know what Notre Dame paid Northern Illinois to come into South Bend and beat them, but I'm sure they don't want to revisit that.
Yeah.
But
they
that's
did the same thing with Marshall 2 years earlier.
Yeah. So if they paid Marshall $1.6 million and then paid $500,000 to Washington to cancel the game, this is technically a $2.1 million victory for Ohio State.
Yeah.
Good news is Ohio State has some.
They can afford
money.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, dollar bills are flowing like wine out there. The interesting thing is what you just said a minute ago. An hour and 51 minutes into a 2-hour pregame show is the first time I think Jeremiah Smith's name was mentioned. I don't think we've mentioned Emeka Egbuka, who I think is a guy that can really go off today, based on what I've seen from Marshall. Because they can't let Jeremiah Smith, go off on him. That doesn't mean he won't. And then another guy is Carnell Tate. We haven't even mentioned the three main receivers for Ohio State, not to mention Brandon Ennis, who's going to return kickoffs, we do believe, and punts today, along with playing some wide receiver. So, yeah, it's best when you're going to a game against Ohio State this year to keep those guys in mind also.
Arvell Reese has been continuing to keep pushing these guys, right, at linebacker. And I'll tell you what, he's got 7 tackles this year and maybe more opportunities. Maybe he gets a highlight today. He's just a name that I should continue to keep mentioning because he deserves it.
Yeah, but he reminds me of the Big Cat in some respects, because the Big Cat, Andy Katzenmoyer, for the people just tuning in, was almost born to play linebacker. I don't know if he agrees or not. He's had that hell-bent approach about him. Arvell Reese, as Ryan Day has said, goes 100 miles an hour anywhere he's going. Now he has become more consistent in knowing where he's going, and yeah, you can watch him zeroing in, because I asked him about that this week. I mean, in your heart, is your heart the beat of a linebacker? When he finally figured out what was at, he goes, yeah. They tried him at defensive end, and we're going to make something else out of him because he was so talented. But when you've watched him play linebacker the first couple weeks, you're going, hey, this guy's a linebacker. Now, so is Cody Simon, so is Sonny Styles, so is C.J. Hicks, right on down the line. But, yeah, he's fun to watch when he's in the game.
Tyleik Williams out for the Buckeyes if you just joined us here, so the defensive tackle will sit today. We did mention Donovan Jackson, though, so a little addition by subtraction. They'll get Donovan Jackson back along that offensive line. So, listen, they were idle last week. Give me just a little bit on Tyleik holding him out today.
Oh, I'm not sure exactly what it is. The way I understood it, for example, Donovan Jackson was dealing with a hamstring. We all know what happened with hamstrings a couple of years ago with Jackson Smith and Jigba. The more time you give in between, the better off you are.
Tyleik was favoring that shoulder a little bit.
Exactly. I think Tyleik's thing is probably a shoulder situation. Let's say, as they say in hockey, an upper body injury of some sorts or malady. And, if you can sit him and get him ready for the Big Ten, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Yeah. Well, Hero Canoe, I mean, they've got Caden McDonald. We talked about him. And so here we go. It's always been kind of a next man up at Ohio State. And I don't think anyone's going to get their job stolen today, but it's an opportunity.
Yeah, but there are guys that can also make more of a name themselves, like Tywan Malone. They really want to see come along. The guys that you're really interested in seeing playing a lot again, even at the defensive ends. Kenyatta Jackson, Caden Curry, right on down the line. Mitchell Melton. They're guys they want to just keep getting them into the mix so they feel pretty good about themselves, and the defense feels good about them headed into Big Ten play. Well, you should treat this to what it is. This is, you should handle this game, but go out and play like you're expected to play.
All right, give me a score prediction, Timmy.
I picked Ohio State 56-6. I think they'll get in the 50s for the third straight game.
Big Cat.
I got 52-10.
All right, so you guys are both going over 50. I'm going to keep it just under.
Conservative.
49-3.
Mr. Conservative.
I think that continues their little no-touchdown streak for that defense. Buckeye Nation is ready to go, and now the sun is shining, the heat is coming down, and hopefully the Buckeyes will take care of business.
And the clouds show there's humidity in the air, which is Nobody's fun.
Not good.
For Tim May, Andy Katzenmoyer, I'm Anthony Rothman. Enjoy the game. Keep it right here on The Fan. Go Bucks.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Heavy volumes, but no major issues. Things are moving on 315 north and southbound, just crowded between Ackerman and Lane Avenue. Speaking of Lane Avenue, basically between High Street and Olentangy River Road, you're going to find a lot of friends on that roadway right now. Olentangy is crowded from King to Ackerman and Kenny Road between Kinnear and Lane. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than in a roomy new Toyota, like the best-selling RAV4. Now through September 30th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
When we first started the business, there was me and one other gentleman. And in the evening, we would build the windows. My installers used to tease us because when they come pick them up in the morning, they were still warm. My employees respect me because they know that what they're doing now, I did the exact same thing. People need to see that the boss works for a living. That's part of running a good business.
Visit Rosati Windows and save 35% on all windows.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Looking for your next Subaru? At Byers Airport Subaru, we give you options from start to finish. Browse and shop entirely online from the comfort of your home at columbussubaru.com or stop by and visit one of our friendly brand specialists just by the airport.
Right now, you can get the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester for 3.9% for up to 48 months.
Whether you prefer to click or come in, we've got you covered. Your journey starts at Byers Airport Subaru. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 48 months on 2025 Subaru Forester. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 9/30/24.